Yes. Okay. Got it.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, Akshay Goswami Prabhu. Thanks for your invitation, for this opportunity to glorify our beloved Guru Maharaj. And it's very great privilege, to glorify Guru Maharaj. And of course, Guru Maharaj has got so many unlimited qualities, we can go on here years and so many years, what to speak of months and days, but still we can never finish his glories. So it's a great opportunity for me to be part of this special program today. And as I said, I've been trying to serve Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada here in Australia the last 30 years. How shall I start? Okay, as I said, I came in contact with the devotees here after coming to Australia. And somehow by the mercy of the devotees, whom I met actually back in Melbourne, and I started going to temple. And I met Guru Maharaj in January 91. And that time, our our temple president's wife, Achintharu Mataji, actually we went for a program in a place called New Govardhan Farm Community, the Christmas Marathon program, and we came back. After that, Guru Maharaj was coming to Melbourne. In fact, that was after 3 years of gap, because during that time, that was the time we had his the first incident back in Spain. Someone tried to cut his throat, crazy guy. So Guru Maharaj didn't travel for some time. But he didn't come to Australia. So he came. So before he came, Mataji was telling, that Jayapataka Maharaj comes, with his big warm purse, and he's got his big warm purse, and he's a big personality and all. But of course, by the time I did meet some devotees, for God brothers like Visakhapatnam Prabhu, with that in the place of the devotees. But it was the first time I saw him there. And of course, Guru Maharaj lectures were enlivening. And we met him, and I had the darshan with him, because I wanted to have the darshan. And that was night, occasionally around the same time, but 11:30 night time. Guru Maharaj was always busy. I was talking about this from 11:30, somehow waiting, and had darshan. But somehow by Krishna's mercy, I was already chanting 16 rounds by that time. Then as soon as I saw Guru Maharaj, then I asked him, can I take shelter of you? Then Guru Maharaj looked at the temple president, Anil Prabhu, and asked him, can you take shelter? Then Prabhu said, yes, because I've already been chanting 16 rounds, more than 6 months. You can. I said, okay. Then Guru Maharaj said, okay, you can chant my pranam mantra. And then we served him. At that time, I wasn't living in the temple. I was still living outside, and I was working. Then that was in January or so. And then later on, around March or so, then basically I moved to the temple, started living in the temple. Then when he came back again, like in September or so, then we met, and I was already prepared for the initiation, the first initiation. And then when I had darshan with Guru Maharaj, then Guru Maharaj said, so you're living in the temple now? I said, because when I first met Guru Maharaj just said, okay, please continue service, help the temple. And and attend programs and study Prabhupada books and all. And but Gurmaharaj never said actually, okay, join the temple or anything. So when he came back next time, when I left the temple, Gurmaharaj said, "Oh, so Krishna is very merciful on you, and he is allowing you to stay in his temple." I said, "Oh, yes, that's true." And then we started engaging in his service whenever it would come. Guru Maharaj, and back in those days, actually, like he would come sometimes 2 times or so to Australia. Whenever it would come, it's always a big festival, like always, now. So, and I always had the opportunity to, say, get to serve him and serve prasad and go for walks and all with him. And yeah, it was very mercifully engaged me. And one thing I think we all know that it was very, whenever we are with Guru Maharaj, it is always special because you can learn so many things by simply by being there, just by being there, watching him, so many things. And when you take prasadam, you won't take prasadam, and then you would invite all the other senior devotees to, especially a temple president, all the time is there with him, and you would invite him to take fast, lunch all the time. And then also you would invite and talk to them, and after taking prasadam, like he does it now, also like would go to the kitchen and see the cooks and go and thank them. And Guru Maharaj's program is always hectic, as you know, even now also. And we would always, after the class, class would finish about 9:30, 10 o'clock, late. And then devotees would be there talking to him. And he very mercifully extends himself to everyone. One time, and there was one bhakta, he was sort of comes on and off, there. Then he started talking to Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj was listening to him. Then we were all wondering, like, why is spending time with this fellow? He's a troublemaker. He's not very sincere and all. But this bhakta man, is an Australian devotee, and because he wanted someone to listen to, and nobody would pay attention. But here is Guru Maharaj, he would spend time with him, and then he was going for half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour in the courtyard, Melbourne courtyard. I was talking to him. Then finally, Guru Maharaj gave him some instruction, and he was very happy and talked to him. And then he would go to his room, and then still his mails and all, and then he would take rest. And that was my service at Kyle, was to stay up, till he goes to sleep, massage his feet, and everything, and then would come back, and then again next day morning we go to his room and wake him up. And I think, I don't know who it is on the line here, and then some of them with the Prabhus may have some experience to beg Guru Maharaj. It's not that we just call Guru Maharaj's name there, we chant the Parisata mantra, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shadri Gadadhara, Shastra Bhakta Vrinda, and Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then we chant, and then Guru Maharaj wakes up. And again, putting him to rest was another thing. I'm jumping also here. Sometimes I would see he would work on his computer, and it's getting late. When it gets late, we tell Guru Maharaj it's 10:30, and then you still work on. Guru Maharaj said it's 11 o'clock. Should take rest. But get a familiarity. It's 11:30, 12 o'clock. Like that, I think I was telling. One time he said, "Don't tell me the time now. Just tell me how many more hours are there for Mangalarati." So then again, after that, we changed it. Tell him, Guru Maharaj, it's only 5 hours for Mangalarati, 4 hours for Mangalarati, like that. So, whenever we are with Guru Maharaj, he always makes things so light. Even now also, and you don't really feel the stress or any problem in serving him. You always feel pleasure because it makes everything so light. It cracks jokes, light. So that makes you feel like you're never really tired. And whenever we are in his presence, it's always very energetic. You feel very alive and energized, whole thing. And so like that, he would come and serve him, go to the airport and receive him, and then receive him. One other thing which he used to do, he used to do Japa workshop. His Japa workshops are very special. He would, after the Mangalarati, Japa time, he would go in Melbourne. There was one room, actually theatre room. He would go and everybody sits there, and Prabhus and Matajis also would all come, and he would hear everybody's chanting. So how they are chanting, whether they're pronouncing correctly or not. And for the Prabhus, okay, he would put his ear close and hear. But again, at the same time, he didn't want to make Mataji the underprivileged. So what he would do, he would also hear their mantra. Naturally, he being a Nyasi, he won't go so close to the Mataji. What he would do, he would get us to bring a newspaper, and he would make like a pipe, and he would put it right, and he would listen, and the devotees, they are at a distance, they would chant here, and they would collect it. So that was very nice. He would always, he would chant the Namastakam prayer, and then read translation for that. Namastakam by Prabhu Goswami, yeah. And then he would decide that, and then the translation, and then devotees chanting. And he very particular, he would help devotees, how to chant nicely. And also you can see Guru Maharaj is always very particular in all his activities. Even now also, whenever he had to do any deity worship, he would make sure he would wear the Uttariya, the top piece, and then do the Achaman properly, and then go and do the Aarti and all. And yeah, he would like, whenever possible, he would also come and do the Mangalarati also. I was saying that was very wonderful experience also. And then one time I happened to see I was in Mayapur. There was some special day, I think it's in a Purushottamanta, something special. And he was staying up, I was there with him, was telling the Maharaj, it's late. But he would work on his computer and send his emails and all. And it's getting late. Then I would tell him, Guru Maharaj, we should take some rest now. You're tired now. He said, no, because today is a special, if you fast, then you can get more benefit. If you fast, if you stay up, you get more benefit and all. Then you would still work on the computer. You would stay up, then go for Mangalarati. Because Guru Maharaj always want to accumulate as much as possible. Of course, Guru Maharaj doesn't have to do that. We all know that he is also said of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he is teaching us that whenever some special tithis are there, special festivals are there, we should take full advantage of them and and increase our devotional activities so that we can get more and more benefit from those festivals, and he once that was in 97, I believe. Yeah, I mean, going with him on a safari is another special experience. I, of course, I was not that fortunate to go on all the safaris, but I was able to go on a few safaris, which was very, very great experience. I think those, all the devotees who were on the line, if any of you have gone there, you all know. Because during safari, and you get to be in the association of Guru Maharaj for 3 weeks, which is special. And he would care for all the devotees, like the real father, always. It so happened once we were traveling, and actually in one safari, my father, who left his body now, and I took him also, because whenever I go to India, sometimes he comes to Mayapur, used to come to Mayapur, or me. So one safari, actually, he was there, and we were going, and naturally, and they saw the prasadam there, and I'm from South India, as some of you who are there on the line, South Indians, we like yogurt, curd, right? I mean, if that is there, okay, that's satisfying to our life. But in Bengal and that, it's hard to in the meal prasadam there, and it's hard to you don't get curd there, right? Of course, I was used, because I was already living in the temple, so I was used to the prasadam water. But if my father was finding it a bit hard, actually, in adjusting to the prasadam which was being served there. And we were sitting there, and actually Guru Maharaj was also sitting actually in the same line there, and he was sitting on the other side there. And then he had, then a devotee served him yogurt, Guru Maharaj likes yogurt too. And then he saw, and then he told the servant, go and give this curd to Sita Rama's father, he's from South India. I was so moved because he could see that here is an old man is struggling to eat his prasadam there with his so then he gave some of his Mahaprasad to him. So we were blessed that way, And in one safari, is it 97 here. We went to went to Bihar, went to Kananatsal actually first. Kananatsal, I think some of you may know, is a place actually where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had darshan of Radha and Krishna there. It's a beautiful temple. In fact, in that temple that time, it was just donated to Iskcon with the previous Ramananda Subhadaya Sannyasi, and Iskcon took over that. But the deity was stolen, so but the new deity is Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna there. Radha Kanai Radha Kanela, yeah, and Gauri Mahaprabhu, and it was a very special experience we had, and because the Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually installed the footprints of Mahaprabhu there, and Guru Maharaj would sit there and chant. You could see when he was chanting, tears would come. But I took some, I don't know what happened to the pictures and all there. And then we had great installation there. It's a beautiful temple actually on the bank of Ganges, on the hillock there. Very beautiful, very scenic. And it reminds you of Vrindavan. So, and we had that. Then after that, then we went to Nepal. We went to Nepal, and there again there was a temple opening. But that was very interesting journey there. Went to temple, of course. Guru Maharaj was busy as usual, with his Guru Maharaj also with GBC for Nepal, and he was doing his management meetings and all. But there was also the DT installation there, Radha Govind Hari, there. And so 3 days, Guru Maharaj was very busy, with the initiations and the DT installation ceremony, first class and meeting the people and everything there. And we had about 100 or so devotees traveling, in the safari there. And actually, while going, actually we went it was from India. It was by bus. Guru Maharaj also came in the bus also. So we were stuck in the border for so many hours actually there, because at the border, it's an open border, it took so long. And finally, we reached Pokhara around about 11 o'clock. And when we reached Pokhara, there, we went to that small temple over there, 11 o'clock. And because I was stuck in the border for so long, there wasn't, because we don't plan, there wasn't for prasad arrangements and all. But when we went to Pokhara, the devotees nicely arranged some prasadam. But night, 11 o'clock, it was actually rice, sabji and dal there. And to my amazement, Guru Maharaj also sat with us, he took rice, sabji, dal at 11 o'clock, because he wanted to be with the devotees, he wanted to make the devotees happy also. I was very surprised to see that. So, and then of course after Pokhara, then we went to Kathmandu, and there this DT installation was there. And of course some of the devotees actually went on and see the other place and all. But because Guru Maharaj was busy with meetings and all. And the interesting thing was that he finished the ceremony, the ceremony and all, and then the candidates, then he had to give the Gayatri mantra to the second initiates, and it all nicely things got delayed and all. Then we had to leave Nepal, and so many of the devotees, they arranged a big bus. Many of the devotees left. And along with Guru Maharaj, also Mahavishnu Maharaj and Prabhu Vishnu Prabhu, they were also there for the DT installation ceremony. And of course, Guru Maharaj gave initiation also to the devotees. Of course, Guru Maharaj gave initiation all the time, and also that day being a special day, festival, the initiation. And after that, few more meetings with the president and all, and naming the deities. So naturally, things got delayed for Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj said, okay, you all go first, I'll come later. And so it's in the devotees, all the big bus were left. And Prabhu and Mahavishnu Maharaj, they went to next day to Patna, Bihar. They left by plane, but Guru Maharaj, he didn't want to take a flight. He wanted to be the devotees. So he wanted to go actually in the big bus, but things were getting delayed, and because of cross the border, if you don't reach the border in time, then they close the border. So it's okay, you go down. So the big bus with all the devotees had left. It's only some of us, only 6 of us, the servants, we left. So serving. And then by the time everything got finished, by the time actually we left the temple, it was almost about 6 o'clock or so, 6:30, like that. And you won't believe that because the big bus left, which is a like AC pushback seat bus that's left, and but then they arranged another smaller bus. That smaller bus was like one of those mini buses, like I don't know, some of you have seen, like in Calcutta, they have these mini buses, the buses, mini bus like that. No? They were like that. It was like that, and the road was actually ghat road, so many speed breakers, and all. So Guru Maharaj actually covered, and I was there. Maybe 3-4 devotees were there as well, the same bus. So we left Kathmandu, then we left, and I could see Guru Maharaj was so tired because he was up the whole day, the initiations and deity installation, and because deity installation is a special thing, to make everything for calm, and the book offerings and everything, creating the first arati, deities and all. And then after that meetings, after meeting, then he took little prasadam. And but still he was so tired, the body was so tired. Then naturally he was feeling tired and he was feeling sleepy. And naturally the bus seats were small, Pugma is big. Then because the seat was small, but it was not a pushback seat, he couldn't push the seat back and sleep. Then he thought, okay, he'll sleep in the back seat. The back, the vacant is not many what is there. The seat was vacant, and the back seat. I think many of you, or at least some of you know, traveling in a bus, how difficult that is. And especially in this bus, small bus, Nepali bus, I thought respect. And then he was trying to sleep, just put his other and trying to sleep there, with his folded legs. But the bus was, because it's not now maybe some India we have this, some of the highways, smooth roads, but Nepal, it's not like that, very bumpy, and whenever the bus go over the bumps, naturally it pushes you up. So how can you imagine actually anybody can sleep? But Guru Maharaj took the austerity, and he was sleeping like that. So moved to see that. But he traveled like that. Then when he came to the border, when we crossed the border, he finally came to Bihar, Patna. So when we came there, and again by the time we came, it was already by evening, and the temple president there, they arranged accommodation for the Maharajas, in the special guest house, the VIP guest house there. So where actually the other Maharajas, the Prabhu and Mahavishnu, they all stayed there. But Guru Maharaj, he didn't want to go and stay there. We could happily, comfortably stay there. But no, he said, no, I want to be the devotees. He asked where the devotees are staying. And devotees, they arranged a school, which was actually the holidays or whatever, I think is closed now. And it's all very dusty. I don't know how long the school was closed, I'm not sure. But everybody's were put in that place there, And Guru Maharaj said, no, I'll stay here only. Because Guru Maharaj wanted to stay with the devotees. That's I actually observed actually many times also. Actually, yeah. So then he said, but the Tamil person was telling, no, Guru Maharaj actually arranged accommodation there, actually in the guest house there, and other Maharajas are staying there. Guru Maharaj said, no, I want to stay with the devotees, yeah. And so, no option, So immediately, somehow we got to dust off some of the things over there and arrange for accommodation. And Guru Maharaj is quite happy in staying there. Imagine actually like, Guru Maharaj staying in that dusty place there. But he didn't mind. He showed that, the sannyasi, but his main point is he wanted to be with the devotees. He didn't want to leave the devotees elsewhere and then for his own comfort. He didn't want that. So that is his mood always. And then again in Bihar, actually, I think we had a summer program. And so during that time, actually, I think we had about 3 Kannada Sala, and later the Bangalore temple, I guess. Yeah, and the other temple. So, but that time actually in that year actually, but 3 deities was mentioned there, and then of course the initiations and all. And during the initiation ceremony, Guru Maharaj was particular that he would make the devotees read the Brahma Samhita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Charitamrita on different 4 corners in the whole ceremony there and all, and go Harinam. So from all this, you can understand, how merciful Guru Maharaj is, and how he is down to earth, and many things want to be with the devotees. And in fact, at this point, actually, I'm jumping and going to another instance. And actually, once actually when he came to Perth before, that was of course not in the 90s though, later on, then we had to arrange, because some other Maharaj was staying in the temple. So we had to arrange in the place. But Guru Maharaj said, I prefer to stay in the temple, even if it is a smaller place, I don't mind. I will live in the temple only, with the devotees, with the deities. So that is always more the devotees. And he was so gentle, Once it so happened, actually that was back when I came to Perth. And for some occasion, I don't know, he did some mistake and Guru Maharaj chastised. And something he was taking prasadam there, the temple door was open, nothing, flies were coming, then he chastised, And then later on, when I went to the room later on, Guru Maharaj said, I'm so sorry, I was chastising you. Imagine, because Guru Maharaj has all the rights to chastise a disciple. But Guru Maharaj is asking, saying sorry to him. And then imagine what would be my state, almost in tears. Guru Maharaj, please don't say that. If you don't correct us, who is going to correct us? And so that is mood, is always great example position also. And like in but 99, 99. Then I came back to India. I was in Melbourne after that. Then I was in Adelaide for a little while, and then came back to India. Spent some time in Vrindavan, then Pakashastri, and then then after that I came to Mayapur. That was the time actually, some of the Ritualism is being propagated. But Guru Maharaj was always very particular how we should worship the Guru. Then he sent the letter to all the disciples and all, and how to should. And when because he wanted to teach us how the disciples should serve Guru. Because as a spiritual master, it's his duty to train us. So then we can train others in the future. So he wanted to make sure that all the proper rules and regulations are properly followed according to the Shastra there. So and then I was there with him for a little while. Then after that, in one day, I was there with him. Of course, before leaving Australia, then I always had desire to travel with Guru Maharaj. Then I thought, by the time I was already in Australia for about 8 years or so. Then I got down. I was eligible to take citizenship. So I took the citizenship, and then I got the Australian passport. So then when I met Guru Maharaj, I told him, "Oh, Guru Maharaj, now I got Australian passport, so I can travel with you." And of course, Maharaj looked at me like, "Why did you give up your Indian citizenship?" But that's it. Now, without it'll be easy to travel. So then, okay. Then when after the Vyasa Puja, and the Guru Maharaj was traveling. Then he has plans to go to South India, then to Middle East and all. And one day when I was serving there, up in the office there, then I was the Maharaja was there. They asked me. So asked Maharaja, so he is Guru Maharaj's servant. Now he's going to travel to Guru Maharaj. Then Maharaja said, so you, me? Are you sure? I said, yeah. So what passport do you have? I said, I got Australian passport. Yeah, you can travel with Guru Maharaj. Oh, really? Wow, I couldn't believe my good fortune to travel with Guru Maharaj, So I thought, wow, wonderful. Then we went with him to first to Hyderabad, and then to maybe first to Bangalore, and then to Hyderabad, and then to Mumbai. From Mumbai, then we went to Middle East, Mathura Desh, Muscat, went there because and then of course, like when you were traveling in the Middle East, you have to we got to go in the comic class, not in the devotional class. Interesting, Guru Maharaj would go up to the airport, then he would go and change. Actually, when he was going, at that time, of course, I didn't know, after John the Temple, like I gave up all my comic clothes, and I only had dhotis and that's only. So in Bombay, Guru Maharaj, I told the other servant, okay, tell Sita Rama to go and buy some pant and shirt. So I had to go to the market and buy some pant and shirt because it was traveling to the Middle East. So then went there. Then Guru Maharaj took me there. And because we all know that in Madhya Pradesh, the congregational preaching is going very strong there in the Baptist programs. And that time, Jayapataka Prabhu was there. And Chaitanya Prabhu was also there that time. He was leaving just an event, and many other devotees were there. So the master took me there. So and then he was there for about 3 or 4 days. I can't remember. Then we had some nice programs there. And out, I don't know, I haven't been there again after that. In the somewhere outskirts, had some garden there, some guest house there, and the initial ceremony and programs there. After that, Guru told him, okay, you stay here and see how the congregational preaching is going on, how the Bhakti programs are going on. So that was another thing. Guru Maharaj in the 90s, he would come and give seminars on this self-preaching. The self-preaching is something some other Christians, at least, they were developing a program. It is the same principle like the Bhakti program, which was Bhaktivinoda Thakur predicted and planned for it. And so Guru Maharaj was more keen and wanted to establish that. So he would go and he would come and give seminars on that in Melbourne many times and go, I think, and self-preaching. And so he left me there, and then he came back on his own to Mumbai, and then he went traveling again. So I was there for 3 weeks. So I got some good memories of the place there, and didn't go back again. I'd like to go again sometime, make an opportunity. So I was there, attended a few programs there, and met some devotees there. It was a nice experience. And whenever we serve Guru Maharaj, and he would teach us, by the example, by instructions. Once in Melbourne, when was those days, sometimes we used to take this appetizer. In Australia, we can tell, it's a sparkling apple juice. And some of you know. And one day, I was opened the bottle and I was pouring it. Actually, when you pour it, all the effervescence they come out, And but Guru Maharaj said, no, that's not the way to pour into the glass. Then he showed me, but hold the glass like this, slightly tilt it, then slowly pour the drink to the side of the glass. That way, the gas won't go. So the gas won't go on. So like that, and then those days, he used to take the ginger juice, raw fresh ginger juice after the prasadam to help the digestion, and the devotees make the squeeze the ginger and make the fresh juice, juice very strong. Of course, Guru Maharaj would take it and he would give to other devotees, temple president, but for them it's so strong they won't take it. But Guru Maharaj takes it, it's like it, And the another thing was actually when in the Mayapur, he would come out, he would, Guma is always very particular to do as much service as possible. He would come and do the Mangalarati. and you would, many times actually, I saw him, you would do Arati Dinashin Dev. Sometimes, of course, it's a bit late, but by the time there may have been some other devotee, another sannyasi doing it. I saw a few times, actually, once, Swami, he would be there by the time the Arati starts. He would start the Arati. But again, Guru Maharaj would come, then a very nice exchange, they would offer each article, alternatively. It was very sweet. So we do that. Then after that, Guru Maharaj would sit in front of the Panchatattva deities. before the big deities, there used to be small deities there, and then he would sit there, and of course all the devotees would sit around him, in front of him there. He would sit in front of the deities and chant the japa. And during that time, and some of you may know that, I'm running out of time. People like, how much time I have? When do I have to finish it?
Probably by 9 we generally end.
By 9. Yeah, okay.
10 more minutes.
10 more minutes, cool, okay. So, and devotees would bring the neem paste. Neem paste. Of course, that's very bitter. But Guru Maharaj would take that, the neem, and then all the disciples used to get the remnants of that. It's very bitter. Many wouldn't like it, but Guru Maharaj would go, and then after that, he would go for a walk, to sometimes in different directions, to the Goshala, sometimes, to the housing area, like that. And it was very enjoyable to walk with him, and be with him. Then after that, he would go to the Guru Puja there. Even though, there were some restrictions, like the Guru should not be worshipped and all, but Guru Maharaj would do, except the Guru Puja, and not in the main building, the Prasadam Hall. So that is, I think one day I was hearing someone speaking, because that's an opportunity devotees would love to get because during that time, Guru Maharaj also distribute some prasad, sometimes some samosa, or some other sweet, and some fruit, like others say, like that. And you can go and offer flowers to him and all. So, and you would go and do that. That was very special to do that. One thing, because this is actually coming back to crossing to 90s, because I said Guru Maharaj in the 90s because last week, Ishwara Prabhu said Guru Maharaj in the 80s. I thought, okay, I'll speak a little bit from the 90s. But now I'm crossing the 2000. When Guru Maharaj had this unfortunate incident actually back in 2008. 2008, around April also, and Maharaja Prabhu asked me whether I want to come to travel with Guru Maharaj. Okay, I really wanted to do that, but that time I got stuck, because that time we were trying to buy the temple property, and I had to deal with the settlement papers and all, so I couldn't go. And I missed that. And then in 2008, October 23rd, we might had this stroke. Heard that, Then I was very concerned and whether what would be the situation of Guru Maharaj, not good to see him and all. Then immediately I dropped everything and I took the next flight and then came to Mumbai. And so the devotees were much for me. And when of course, we all know the story. Like Guru Maharaj was in unconscious for about 3 weeks, 20 days or so, and then finally, then he came back to consciousness, and after he came back to consciousness, and of course the whole world was happy. Then I went to swim because it was already a month, that I was there. Then I had to come back here because we just moved to a new place here, and I was got to settle a few things and all. And then I went to Guru Maharaj. That Guru Maharaj, that now you're okay now, so I'll want to take your permission. I'll go back to Australia. I'll go back to Visakhapatnam, see my brother who was also sick that time, and then I'll go back. Then Guru Maharaj, when he opened his eyes, you couldn't believe. He said, "Oh, I want to come to Perth." He just came back from his coma, still had tubes all over. Then he was saying, I want to go to birth. And then tell Maharaj, okay, yes, yeah, you can come to birth, but now first you got to get better, then you can come to birth. And so that was his mood. And then the last time actually when he came here, in fact, all the devotees are actually looking, in 2015. Then again, we had to take him to the hospital. Then, as I said before, Guru Maharaj always make things very light. And when Guru Maharaj was about to be taken to the hospital, the called ambulance, and the ambulance people came and they taken. But Guru Maharaj was, his pressure, oxygen level was gone so low. But when he saw the attendants of the ambulance, then he was cracking jokes with them. He said, "Should be right, mate." Like that is a slang. They say, "She'll be right, mate." In Australia they say, "Mate." She'll be right, mate. So like that, they were shocked. And here the patient, they came to take the patient to the ICU, and then he's cracking jokes with people. So that is his mood always. And he is very, very merciful and very caring. And we are all very blessed to have him as a spiritual master. And many devotees confirm that. So back in 93, the first time actually I came to Mayapur, then the congregational Maharaj, he was there in Mayapur that time. And then he came for the Vyasa Puja to Guru Maharaj. Then he was so impressed that he said, "This is how you should celebrate the Vyasa Puja spiritual master." Then he narrated the incident, how the devotees had to celebrate the Vyasa Puja in Japan, and they were not quite equipped, they were not well versed how to do and all. So Prabhupada had to correct them. But when he saw the devotees celebrating, very happy. Then he said, that he is the victory flag, of Prabhupada said, the victory flag of Iskcon and all. So we are very blessed to have Guru Maharaj as a spiritual master. And sometimes devotees complain, Guru Maharaj got so many disciples, he doesn't remember, but no, he remembers all of each and every one of us. And if we come and serve him nicely, then then we get benefit, we get reciprocation by serving him. But if we don't take responsibility and if we do on our own, but still Guru Maharaj goes out of his way, and then he remembers so and so devotee, and he makes it. Last time when he came, he was trying to call one devotee who has been away for some time. And so we should never think that, okay, Guru Maharaj got so many disciples. But he prays for all of us, and he cares for all of us. So we are very blessed and very, very fortunate. We have a special spiritual master for all of us to guide us and to take us back home. And it's very accommodating, very merciful, and it's very simple. Of course, now because of the situation, sometimes some of us may not be able to reach him, but we can reach him. We can get association through his lectures. Every day he's giving his lectures, and they giving this Zoom darshans, training. So we, in that sense, we are very special and very fortunate to have. And also his dealings with the God bless us, very, very special also. So we can learn from that, the proper etiquette, Vaishnava etiquette. The other day, Srila Prabhu was saying, Guru Maharaj is so particular, in following the proper guidelines, in the way how to eat, first in the bitter and all the different items you got to eat, and the way we sit in the line and all. So we are very blessed again to have him, spiritual master. So I got to think 1 more minute. Akshay Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So my earphones are not working. Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji. Sorry,
Okay.
Bluetooth battery went off. Sorry. So any devotee has any question, you can ask Prabhuji now. You can raise hand, we can unmute you. Okay, looks like no questions. So, on behalf of Iskcon Seshadripuram Jayapataka, we would like to thank you for sharing, your wonderful realizations and, by repeatedly hearing from senior devotees that Guru Maharaj remembers all of us. So, generally we feel like because Guru Maharaj has so many disciples, we generally get a feeling like maybe, but like because we heard from you and from so many other Guru Maharaj disciples, so we understand, okay, Guru Maharaj actually remembers all of us, and then we should serve him, like you were saying, then only yeah. And also one thing that I like really, like you were saying, even though, like I think, not sure about it was Nepal or Bihar, like when you were saying Guru Maharaj was given an option to stay somewhere else in a nice, comfortable place, but Guru Maharaj was asking like, where are devotees? Maharaj is so keen, so interested to stay always with the devotees. So
yeah, that's Bihar, yeah, in Patna, yeah, I remember that.
So
thank you. Cool.
Thank you, Raji, for sharing such.
And also, yeah, I mean, in Navadvip Mandala Parikrama also, like Guru Maharaj always, he had option to go back. Of course, now, because he travels in his car, but before, before the stroke in the 90s, I got a good fortune also attending few Navadvip Mandala Parikramas. He would stay with the devotees. Of course, he's got his tent there. Of course, he would go and see that all the devotees are comfortably seated and resting, and then he would go on and sleep in he's got his big tent though, and he would stay on the tent there, and then he would go to the fields, like that. It was very, and then he would be with the devotees all the time too, and of course many devotees told the stories. Quite often on the last day, sometime there's always a big rain there, and all the tents they'll be flown off, and then there'll be disturbance. Guru Maharaj would go and care for all the devotees, and then see that they're all okay and all. And also, when the devotees are sick or anything, he would give the right medicine for that and all, would arrange something and all. So that's why he's very, very caring all the time too.
Yeah. Thank you, Raji. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, like so on behalf of everyone who are here, all the assembled devotees, so we would like to thank Prabhuji by one time chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Hare.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Maharaj
Prabhu.
ki
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
There's some information in the chat. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay.
No.
It's about 11:30 for me here now.
Okay. Yes, please, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for extending so much for all of us.
No problem. Pleasure. Always, as I said, it's always special and sweet to glorify Guru Maharaj, anytime. No problem, Yeah.
This is great.
I haven't been to the University of Seshadripuram, and I heard about many devotees from there too. Some from Bangalore, but I would like to visit one day in the opportunity. See.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Hare.
Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Pranam.